Very much. I thought I was this thing was thank you very much, and good morning to all of you. Yes, in addition to what the chairman of our Media and Publicity Committee for the event or the championship, in addition to what he's saying, we as a federation, we are looking at partnering some media people, some media persons, individuals, to more or less champion our cause. And I've always been saying that without media, even the advertisers will say you are in the dark. Whatever sports you do, and media does not cover your sports or publicize it, you are just wasting your efforts. So we want to partner you so that when you go back to your various stations, even when you are questioning people, you have a certain understanding of Taekwondo. We realize that many media persons don't really understand the sports to an appreciable level. So sometimes when they're analyzing the sports or if you're asking questions or covering our championships, they only report the winners and they are not able to even comment on the event, as he rightly said. So I will just introduce some key concepts and I'll also impart some information about Taekwondo and what we are doing now, so that at least you will arm yourself with that knowledge. And we're also looking at the future. We should go beyond this championship. And I believe we also have even more such interaction so that we can have people actually representing Taekwondo in their various media houses. Now, number one, I want to explain what Taekwondo is. But the first thing I wish to say is the word. Unfortunately, you hear some of our media men mispronouncing the word Taekwondo. It's Taekwondo. Taekwondo. Now you see that the spelling is KWO, not KWA. Taekwondo. It's a Korean word. It's a compound word. Tai, Kwon, and Do. There are three separate words. Now, Tai means feet or foot, the lower limb. Kwon means hand or fist. And the Do is the philosophy, the science, or the way of using the feet and the fist to repel an attacker. That is the traditional meaning of Taekwondo. Taekwondo is a self-defense exercise. I want to make that clear before we move to the sports. It's self-defense. So it is using the science of using your feet and your fist to repel an attacker. It is a science. It's a science because it is based on what we call biomechanics. Biomechanics. Through Taekwondo, you learn the most effective way of delivering a punch, so that you maximize the impact on the opponent or the adversary, the enemy, and minimize the effect on you. So, for example, if you don't know how to clench a fist, how to make a proper fist, and you strike somebody, you may even end up hurting yourself. If you take batting, for example, batting with the head, if you know how to bat, it's head against head. You can also get hurt. But if you know where to use and how to bat, you hurt the opponent and at the same time minimize the effect on you. So Taekwondo teaches practitioners how to effectively deploy their limbs or use their body parts as effective weapons against attackers. So that's the traditional meaning, and as I said, it is purely scientific. There's nothing juju about it. Sometimes some parents or schools think that Taekwondo is associated with occultism or there's some spiritism with Taekwondo. No, it is purely scientific. The kicks are based on biomechanics, so that you learn how to kick very effectively, to the extent that you'll be able to achieve a certain impact, and people will be like, wow, this is beyond human power. The body has certain high potential, okay? Just as the brain, people can use the brain to do so many things. Physically, there are so many things we can do. So you can even break something very hard, stone, pebbles, blocks, and it is all scientific. It depends on how you do it. So in brief, that is what Taekwondo is. Now, over the years, it evolved into sport. You know, the Koreans also wanted to market their nation using Taekwondo. The Japanese started with karate and judo. The Chinese never got anywhere because they had a lot of martial arts, kung fu, tai chi, and all that. But so the Koreans looked at the Japanese and said, no, let's also start something. You know, the karate and kung fu, judo started more than more than 100 years ago. Okay, Taekwondo started in 1963. So the Koreans also thought that no, let's also market this sport. So they made it a sport. Then they started sending ambassadors, if you will, to other countries to teach Taekwondo. And Taekwondo has been embraced by a lot of countries. It is actually the fastest growing martial arts sport. It is attractive because Taekwondo places a lot of emphasis on foot technique, kicks. You know, when there's a lot of art in using the legs. Okay, so it's more attractive than maybe karate, which also uses the leg, but it uses more hand action. Karate is about 70% hand action, 30% leg action. And Taekwondo is the reverse, 70% leg action, 30% hand action. So Taekwondo has grown over the years and is practiced in about 208 countries. 208 countries. And eventually the Koreans got IOC to adopt Taekwondo as one of the events for the Olympic Games. So Taekwondo ever since has become very popular and it is very strong in many countries, especially, unfortunately, it is not so in Ghana. And let me just also give you reasons why it is not so in Ghana, so that when you are talking about Taekwondo, you know exactly what to say. The first thing I would say is that Taekwondo in Ghana has suffered what I would term brain drain. Okay, in the past we had very, very outstanding Taekwondo practitioners, very outstanding by all standards, very outstanding by all standards. We are talking about the Michael Menus, Felix Ayesu, Michael Day, Edufu, John Datson, a host of them. But you know, when opportunities come and they travel outside, they get more opportunities to do Taekwondo and then they remain. So this is what has affected us to a very large extent. People moving. Some of our best players are outside, even though sometimes they represent Ghana. So this is one of the reasons. Because when they leave, they also leave their clubs that they teach. I mean, yeah. So they leave and the clubs collapse. So we have an acute shortage of effective, knowledgeable instructors. I can confess that many of our instructors still need a lot of training. They still need a lot of training. So this is one of the reasons. Of course, the other is lack of support, as you know, from the state and other related matters. Now, should I stop here? So if there are some questions,
okay, let's make it interactive. So even we don't to ask anything. Yes. Let's make it interactive. I don't know whether
it's managed by the World Taekwondo Federation, WTF, World Taekwondo Federation. But just last month, they changed WTF to WT, World Taekwondo. And they have also changed their logo. So it is no longer WTF. But for now, we are still saying WTF. But I just want you to know that it's no longer WTF, it's now World Taekwondo. And then up to African Taekwondo Union has also changed to World Taekwondo Africa. So we have World Taekwondo Asia, World Taekwondo Europe, and these 5 continental bodies fall under the world body, World Taekwondo, which is headquartered in Korea, South Korea. So they are running Taekwondo affairs. Now, underneath the continental unions, we have the member national associations, such as Ghana Taekwondo Federation. So, as I said, we have about 208 countries, or even more, practicing Taekwondo. And Ghana Taekwondo Federation is one of them. Now, I'll go straight to the championship. This whole thing started with this STKD championship. You know, from 2011, we're not having support, as you are very much aware. We're not having support. So individuals amongst us decided that they will do something. They will sponsor championships. Okay. So our current president, Mr. Frederick Latte Otu. Well, before then, there were some smaller ones. I also even organized something in Tema, but it was just regional based. Okay, we're organizing our own championships. Then Mr. Frederick Otu Latte decided to institute an annual championship called a Mission Championship in 2011. And he has been doing that up to now. In fact, in September, we'll have the 2017 Mission. In September, we'll have the 2017 just Christmas. Yeah, 2012. Then a group of former Taekwondo national team players. Okay, now this group happened to be living and working in Ghana. Okay, they didn't travel. They traveled, but they didn't stay. Okay, they didn't stay. We have the chairman of that group. That we call them the STKD Taekwondo. STKD Taekwondo Foundation. They formed the STKD Taekwondo Foundation. The X-TKD means ex-Taekwondo practitioners. Okay. So they initially were three. One, Mr. Charles Hansen Edu, is a deputy director of operations, in charge of operations, Ghana Airport Company. No, Airport Company. Ghana Airport Company is one of the deputy directors. And then we have Mr. Charles Hansen Edu is also the only gold medalist Ghana Taekwondo has produced at the African stage. That's in the All African Games. He's the only gold medalist. He got it in the early 90s in Egypt. And then we have Alex Darocha. Alex Darocha is the only Ghanaian Olympian, the only Ghanaian Taekwondo Olympian. Okay, he's the only person who went to the Olympics to represent Ghana in Taekwondo. He was also a silver medalist at the African Games level. Okay, and then we have Captain Aban. Captain Aban is currently in charge of assets or security in Talo. So he's also a big man there. He's actually a merchant navy captain, not a military captain, a merchant navy captain. And then we have Alex Mallet, but Alex Mallet is not domiciled in Ghana, in the sense that the contestants will wear protective gears. Okay. Now, with these sensors are fitted in the pad, and then the socks, what we call the socks. So they come into contact with the sensors on their body or the body guard or the head. Prevention is reduced. NSA is giving including the air conditioners. And then they located the air conditioners. Epsilon security. Epsilon security. Yes. So
not to interfere, see. You know something that's somewhere. We have all these things. Thank you.
I mean, you have your tripod and you see you know where you can get your best shot. So that one.
Thank you.
Okay. Please, we're just 2 days away from the first Ghana International Championship. How ready are we?
Well, we are pretty much ready, even though there are some finishing touches, as you are aware. We are still putting up a few things together, but we are very much ready.
What are these few things you are putting together?
Some printing. We need to put up some banners, decorate the venue, and then organize a few volunteers. Apart from that, I think everything is set for us to go.
In the next 72 hours, is 72 hours enough for you to get these things in place?
Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, with every event, the day before the event, you still need to assess the place and put a few things up. Certain things must come the day before the championship. So everything's on course, and we are very much ready.
Is registration still open?
The registration will close today. In fact, because of appeals from our counterparts in other West African countries, I had to extend the registration. In fact, yesterday was the deadline. I had to extend it to tomorrow. So to today, sorry, today. So today, midnight, it will be off.
How many Ghanaians have registered?
We have about 14 Ghanaians, and then about 6 more are also in the pipeline.
So how many were expecting to have? And currently you have 14.
Come again?
How many were expecting to have as Ghanaians participating in this very competition?
Well, we're looking at something anything between 20 to 25. So we are having, if the 6 go through, we have 20. To participate, you need to go through certain processes. You need to have a global license. And to have the global license, you need to have an international black belt certificate. We'll call it cooking one, okay? Now with the certificate, then you can now proceed to apply for the license, and then with the license, you proceed to register, okay? And some of them, they recently applied for the certificates. They came in late, and then you also need a passport, you see, because the system must verify that you are a Ghanaian. You must register, each country has its own local administration that will register, or that registers the athletes. And the system must ensure that you belong to the country under which you are registered. So the passport is one thing, their certificate, endorsement from the federations and all that. So it's a process. And the system sometimes is jerky, to reject and say there's a problem. It's quite a bit convoluted.
When do we expect to have these participants in the country?
They've started trooping in already. Burkina Faso was in yesterday. I've had messages and calls from Niger. They have taken off. Nigeria, there are different groups. It's an open championship. So some are already here. Mali, some are already here. Some have taken off. Burkina Faso, they will soon be here. Benin is here already. Ivory Coast they are on their way. So they are just trooping in. So by this evening and tomorrow morning, we'll have a host of them around.
A host of them or all of them?
Some will fly in 17th. 17th is tomorrow. Some will fly in. Those who are flying, from what I have received from them, they are coming on the 17th. Yeah, okay.
So it means that everyone must be around by 17th?
Yeah. 17th is the registration proper. Apart from the online registration, we must also register for accreditation. Okay, and that will cost each person $50. So each athlete $50. So tomorrow we'll do the registration, we'll do the balloting, we'll do the pairing, and the referees will have their meeting. They also do their, they will deploy themselves for the 2 days, and that's what we'll do on the first day. So the first day will be busy, and it's the last minute period for people to come in. After tomorrow, it will be too late.
I don't want to go out of this conversation, but there were reports of a threat of an injunction on this very competition. Any truth in this? Have you been told anything like this?
Yes, it is true, but the court overturned the suit, so we are good to go.
Thank you very much.